Good day, viewers and smart investors. Welcome to our real estate talk show. As usual, my name is Angelo, your real estate consultant of choice. A bit about what I do. I assist people in Nigeria and in diaspora, especially those in diaspora and within Nigeria, those in corporate Nigeria, who do not have time to come down and do their real estate search, purchase, and acquisitions themselves. I assist them to do this. So by the end of the program, I'm going to give you contact details. So just stay tuned. And today we bring to you another topic which is very, very important in real estate in Nigeria. We have talked about other topics in the past. So today I bring to you another topic, and today's topic, we're talking about acquisition by government. What are we talking about when we say acquisition? Acquisition by government refers to a situation where a government, whether federal, state, or local government, is interested in a certain area, for a certain purpose. And what does that mean for land in that area? How does it affect land transactions in those areas? What are people who wish to buy land in such areas and develop? What are they supposed to look out for? All of these things we're going to look at today. We're going to try and, of course, as usual, we'll try and put all of this briefly because, we cannot stretch the entire gamut of the topic within this short program, but we'll cover as much ground as we can. So if you, at the end of it, if you have questions, you wish to know more, you will see our phone numbers and social media handles on the screen. Just get in touch with us and we'll be glad to attend to your request and assist you, in your acquisition of land wherever you wish. Now, land acquisition by government. Now, there are two types of government acquisition of land. The first is the committed acquisition, and the second is the non-committed acquisition or the global acquisition. 1, committed acquisition. 2, non-committed or global acquisition. What does the first one mean, committed acquisition? Committed acquisition refers to a situation where government is interested in land in a certain area for a particular development plan. What does this mean? Now, for instance, in a state, there is need to link, one state to another and local government by road. Government might be interested in certain areas that are going to be used as roads. So when they draw, of course, there's what is called the global mapping. Well, that global mapping, they look at it and they determine that, okay, this road, we have maybe there are 5 local governments who want this road to pass through before it gets into the next states. The government is going to look at it and say, okay, this is the route that this road is going to pass. Now, when they have done that, those lands are now under government acquisition. They will not, meanwhile, there's something we'll treat later. The government acquisition, they don't just take your land for free. There's what is called compensation. But compensation is a whole different matter. So let's look at just the acquisition for today. In another episode, we'll be treating compensation. Now, government will look at it and say, okay, we're interested in these lands. They will give you the map, they have the measurement dimensions for the sort of road. In Nigeria, there is trunk A, B, and C roads. Trunk A roads are the federal roads. It has its dimensions. Trunk B are the state roads, has its dimension. Trunk C, local government roads, all have their dimension. So now they will show you the areas it will pass and everything until it leaves the state and goes to another state. So those lands are under government acquisition, but everything on the left or right of it may be free for people to do land transaction, acquire, sell, buy, and do whatever they want to do on. However, those areas under acquisition for that road, you can't take. Now, that is for road. It can also be said that government can also do commit a land for the purpose of setting up a barracks, army barracks, navy barracks, air force barracks, police barracks, as the case may be. So they acquire a large expanse within an area, and that land now becomes committed land. Now, there's something that there are lands in Nigeria that are already acquired for the purpose of setting up barracks, but people will go and, scrupulously, take part of it, begin to do things. Whenever they are ready, they'll just come and demolish everything, and you will not get compensation. Why? Because it has been committed. And at the point where it was committed for that particular purpose, compensation also had been discussed and transacted and settled. Again, government can acquire land for the purpose of hospital, for purpose of building schools, whether university, secondary school, primary school, as the case may be, and for purpose of recreation centers. So these are examples of committed acquisitions by government. And committed acquisitions can be done by federal, state, or local governments. Each of them will still pay compensation to the people who own the land, but they will take that land for their purposes. And when they do that, those areas that they have mapped out, it's always stated, and it's always limited to a certain area. You cannot touch. But anything outside of the particular area they want, from the boundary of what they want, you can transact on. You can buy, you can sell, you can do anything you want on, and you will have no challenges whatsoever. That is talking about committed acquisition. The other side of it, the non-committed acquisition or the global acquisition. Now, this is where government acquires an area. Government can come into an area, a local government, and say, okay, we want to acquire 100 hectares inside of this local government. And they show you the 100 hectares, they map it out. We don't know what we want to use it for now, but it's for future purpose. That is non-committed or global acquisition. For future purpose. The purpose of the acquisition is not stated. However, it is a government acquisition. And they settle the people, the compensation for the people who actually own that area, for the portion that they intend to take, and then you leave it. That land can remain there for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. Do not touch it. If you do anything and you get involved in a committed land, whether committed acquisition or global or non-committed acquisition, you are in trouble. Because whenever government wakes up and decides to use that location for any purpose, they will simply come and demolish whatever you have there. And you are not entitled to compensation because the land was not free for you to start with. So non-committed acquisition or global acquisition is a situation where government, earmarks an area of land for its own use. However, the use is not immediately stated. It is usually done for future use, and that's the reason why people get into trouble when they do not understand that, okay, yes, government want to use this land. They just go there, they don't want it again. Now, talking about acquisition of land, in some instances, there are lands that government had acquired to use for certain purposes, whether committed or for global acquisition, and eventually the project did not take off. For one, whatever reason the government may have, the projects did not take off and they didn't see the light of day. That land remains there. And now development or the needs of society now gets to a point where those lands can no longer remain free because everyone has been avoiding it because it is under government acquisition. But the needs of the people, needs of society, things have evolved, time has gone, and people need to, there is need for maybe residence or commercial ventures in that location or even industrial ventures. There is a process whereby people can free committed lands from government. You can get it back from government if the government decides that, okay, the needs of the society for that land is more than what we intended to use that land for. Government can, the people can make an approach to government. It mustn't be the initial settlers. It could also be whoever wants to use it. You can make an approach as an individual, as a group to government. You approach them and say, okay, this land that has been acquired here, it has remained fallow for over 50 years, and nothing has been done on it. If you look at development in the area, for this thing, maybe you want to build, let us say it was initially intended for, let us say, a race course. And in this day and age, people are not so, in Nigeria especially, people are not so into horse racing. And maybe, that land had been a global acquisition and then tentatively for a race course. And now, people are not so much into horse racing. And you now approach, a community of people now approach government and say, we want to use this for residential development. We want to use this for commercial development. We want to use this as an industrial park. Give it to us. Let us acquire it from you as government. Let us use it for this purpose. What government can do, if they see reason with those people who approach them, government will do what is called a ratification. Ratification is a process whereby the land that had been under government acquisition is now freed from that acquisition. And the document given to the people or persons who approach government so that they can now take the land for their own use again. Now, ratification can be given to individuals, it can be given to communities, it can be given to, but for the people who approach government. And you must have a strong argument, at least to convince the government of the day that that purpose for which we acquired the land is no longer valid, or it is not what the community or the society needs anymore, and a better use can be found for that land. Then they can agree to do that, and they will ratify it, give you that ratification. That ratification will be a document. After ratification, what government will now give you will be a government allocation, because that land was initially under government acquisition. They will give you a government allocation showing that that same government that acquired that land is now giving it back to the people or to the persons who had approached them. And after you get your government allocation, you can still go back and approach them, and they will give you C of O on the land now. And so these are briefly what we have today. Like I said, my name is Angelo. I hope you have found today's episode really helpful, and watch this, especially on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us. These episodes are fully placed on our YouTube channel at Estate Limited. Limited is LTD. Estate Limited, one word. So Instagram handle, Twitter handle, Facebook, we're there. And you also see our mobile number scrolling on your screen. Do reach out to us, especially if you're a Nigerian who find yourself in diaspora, or if you're Nigerian in corporate Nigeria, and you do not have the time to go out and, seek, for the property that you want. Let us know what you desire, and we would come in and help you get that desired property, in a very, very clean and legal way, devoid of any encumbrances. Thank you very much for listening in to our program for today. Goodbye.